digital and watercolor artist is an artist that does watercolor and then takes those images and then enhances them digitally once they're complete. My art is kind of a culmination of a few things. I start by doing some sketches of ideas that just kind of pop into my head, things I think that would look neat once they're put together. And then I'll take those sketches, paint them out in some watercolor, and then after that I digitize them. So put them in the computer and alter the way they look, manipulate the images, add some things together until I have a piece that I think is complete. I own a flower shop in Wheaton, Minnesota, and I am the floral designer there, as well as kind of taking care of all of the business aspects, which isn't like something I super enjoy. I like to be creative, so doing those things is a lot more fun to me, but I really do enjoy the floral design part. One of the things I like the most about it is having the store. I can go to market, buy all the products that I see in my store here, and that's what really inspired me to become a digital and watercolor artist, is seeing those products in the store and thinking, you know what, I can do that. It would be so much fun to see my artwork on wrapping paper or a canvas painting that's, you know, hanging in someone's house. I love to do window displays here in the store. That kind of comes from my previous experience as a graphic designer. I worked for a clothing company at their corporate office, and I did a lot of window displays. That's definitely one of the perks for me, is getting to do those because they're fun. You know, nobody else is telling me what to do, so it's definitely something I can just be creative and come up with on my own. I always have ideas happening in my head. I'll be inspired by like a cool old door that I see, or I'll be driving down the road and see a cute little raccoon and I'm like, oh, that would make such a cute little piece of art. So I'll take those ideas, I kind of bring them back home, and then I'll kind of turn that into my own version. I'll sketch it out, and then after I have the sketch complete, I will add in the watercolor paint. And then after the paint is done, I scan it in, put it into the computer. I use Photoshop mostly to create the pieces after that. A lot of times it's combining a few paintings. For the raccoon, I put some birch trees in the background and I added a little bow tie. So all of those things go in after the fact on the computer. I love animals and I love flowers. So a lot of my flower inspiration, you know, does come from having my work as a florist. I'm inspired by that all the time. As you can imagine, my world is kind of immersed in flowers. And I also just really love animals. We have lots of dogs and cats, and I just think that they're fun, they're cute, and they're also a really big trend right now. So kind of trying to stay on trend and kind of come up with what might be the it animal, I guess. My favorite pieces, a lot of them are the more modern pieces. That's just my personal taste. I like the very clean and simple pieces. The hexagon series that I did in the blue, those are one of my favorites. I think one of the benefits is that really the world is your oyster when you're, a rural artist. You can, because of the internet, you can do your artwork anywhere. And for me personally, being inspired by nature and having all of those animals and having those things close, I can drive out in the country 5 miles and I can see those things for myself. So having those as a reference point is great. You can really do your artwork anywhere. So having the internet, definitely has opened up a lot of things for me as an artist. artist has really kind of taken me on a self-discovery journey. I had children young, so my whole life has kind of been about my kids and raising them, so I never really got to discover who I was. And now that my kids are getting older and involved in more activities that, they're out of the house and I have more time for myself, I really, was able to discover that I really enjoy painting. I really enjoy creating things. For me, it's very peaceful and it's a very good stress reliever. So I love to be able to find that time for myself and kind of do something that hopefully I can share with everyone.
Visit pioneer.org/postcards to catch up on missed episodes and to find out more about your favorite segments. Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropy, Mark and Margaret Yackel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. On the web at lrac4calendar.org.